Hello everyone, my name is Amy and welcome to a Sims 4, I was going to say house building video, only clearly you can see today I'm not actually building you a house. I am building my first ever community lot. So I'm really excited to be building this for you here today. Um, so if you've watched any of my videos recently on my channel, you know that I have a sim friend and we've done a few collaborations together now. So we decided to do a collaboration for a community lot. So um, what's different about this though is what we did in the past. I would build the exterior of a house and then my friend Lucrecia would furnish it for me and then vice versa. So she would build a house and do all the exterior, and then I would furnish it for her. So we decided to do the community lots and just do it a little bit differently. So instead of doing the exterior and then the interior and having each other furnish it, you're gonna see me building this entire bar in its entirety. So I do both the interior and the exterior, but the collaboration comes from I'm doing a bar and then she is going to be doing a restaurant. So the idea behind this is like the same owner is going to own both the bar and the restaurant and they're going to be like right next to each other. So if you look off to the left, it's kind of hard to see right now, but there's a wall that just kind of divides basically this lot. I use the large lot in Magnolia Promenade. So yeah, we're gonna have the bar here, and then to the left of the bar is gonna be the restaurant. So I will make sure that I link in the description below, all of the information for her YouTube channel, so you can watch her build the bar, or sorry, the restaurant, on her channel. I will link the gallery ID so you can download both the bar and the restaurant will be up there singly as well as like together in one lot. So that's what we're doing here. So now I am kind of got the bar on the first floor, kind of situated, and just putting in some like pieces on the outside just to kind of give the shape of the bar a little bit more of a better look, I guess. And then just putting in a wall, and then decided I was going to have the bathrooms on this back section here. So kind of have the staircase behind there so it's a little bit hidden. And then putting in, again, some walls so I can have the bathroom back here. So one thing you will notice when I build, I seriously try to have things small or on the smaller side. It's really difficult for me to make like a small house or something like that, and apparently it's hard for me to make a small community lot as well. So I'm trying to kind of put some bathrooms back here, and I end up moving them back a couple of squares because I wasn't happy. Like you can see where the doors are, and then the stairs that go upstairs, it's only like the hallway there is only 1 square length wide, and I feel like that's so crowded. I don't like using one stair length. And see, I even tried to move the stairs to see if I could make that a little bit better, but then it just ended up being too crowded by the bar. And I didn't want to have to move the bar any more forward. So I decided to just go bigger. Go bigger, go home, I guess. Putting in, so the lower level, has both a male and a female bathroom. And then there's two like bathroom stalls. So I kind of sectioned off where the toilet is, and then there's a sink for each of the Sims that would be in the bathroom. So I don't really spend a whole lot of time showing like all the details that I put into the bathroom because I feel like bathrooms are kind of boring. They're probably my least favorite thing to build. I mean, obviously you need them, but they're just kind of boring, and it's a little bit more difficult to tape, like video tape, I guess. You don't really see me, again, spending a whole lot of time in them, but you do see me kind of moving this back a little bit. So I take like each of these rooms and move them back like 1 or 2 squares. So there's ample room by the staircase, which I think just looks so much better. But I cringed because like, oh my gosh, my partner is gonna kill me. She's like gonna see this huge building, but I think it looks nice in the end. So kind of going over and finding in some table and some chairs. So I absolutely loved the color scheme that I chose for this build. So it was actually inspired by two different things. One is the lamps, the lights that I used for, I think they came with the movie hangout pack. Was like a blue, or I think it's purple. I just really, really love those. I put those on top of like all of the chairs, the dining chairs and stuff. So, and the other thing that I liked with the color inspiration that, or that item that gave me inspiration for the color, there we go, was a rug. And I used that a couple different times throughout. So, just kind of going through the build by catalog and finding some bar type items. So I originally was going to have like, I don't know, bars I think would kind of have like different themes for their night, like country night or comedy night or something like that. So I was going to have a piano in here, but I didn't in the long run. I felt like I didn't really have enough room. I could have made another, like made it bigger, but I decided not to. So this area here is just kind of where the entrance is going to be. So I wanted to kind of give it its own little spot or place. So I kind of just used the half wall and kind of sectioned it off. And then I ended up putting in like some, I don't know, is it like a little half wall trim or whatever that goes on top of it? And it's kind of like a see-through like fence thing at the, I don't know, but it looks nice in the end. So yeah, just kind of putting in some like table and chairs, and I ended up using the wall tool and kind of making this like pillar to kind of separate some of the seating areas that I use, which I think look really nice. And then finding some more like couches and some chairs. So I do kind of mix and match and use a little bit of purple, a little bit of blue throughout the entire build. So putting in a TV over some of like the dining room chairs, because I figure if you're having like a sports bar or just any kind of bar would have a couple of TVs at least. So there's definitely the one big one, and then there's a smaller one that's on top of the stereo by the dance floor. So yeah, plenty of TVs for your Sims. Placing in another dining or dining table, I guess, off to the left side there, and I end up moving that. I don't feel like it really fit well there, so kind of trying to make it fit by moving things back a little bit, and then I wanted to have some more seating over by the couch, but I didn't think that looks right, so I kind of moved that around a little bit. I wanted to have a seating area where I had like two couches facing each other, and I played around with it. It seems like I played around with this idea for a while, and I ended up just kind of moving it back and just putting in this dining room table, kind of mocking what I did on the other side, and I think that looks nice. Putting in a TV over there, and then copying one of the smaller couches and putting in some tables and a couple of chairs there. And then here are the lights I was mentioning earlier. So these like blue, I always say blue, they're purple. I think they're purple. Purple, blue, I don't know what color. They're purple. They're purple. So yeah, putting those in over the tables, and then I'm using those big spotlights for the dance floor because, of course, it's a dance floor. You're going to want to have some spotlights there. And then trying to use a couple of different lights, but I take out the ones that I initially had just to kind of give me an idea of what I was doing until I find the lights that I really wanted. And then putting in some track lighting above the bar area, which I kind of, thankfully with the move objects on cheat, you can kind of overlap them so you get plenty of lighting. We all know that the lighting is not the best in The Sims 4, so gotta use a lot of lights to make it look nice. Putting in some more seating areas kind of towards the back where the bathrooms are, and using kind of again some couches, some table and chairs, some dining room table and chairs. So yeah, mixing it up a little bit. And then what am I doing now? Just kind of adjusting some of the tables, and I do put some like candles or some flowers pretty much on most of the tables and chairs, like at least the dining room tables. Not all the end tables get like flowers or candles, but I think that would make it look nice for like atmosphere. So putting in some of those throughout. And then oh, this is when I find a TV to go over the stereo. So I don't know. I think that looks really nice. And you can see the big karaoke machine to the left. And then finding in some speakers and putting them around all the TVs and the karaoke machine and everything. So I think that looks really nice in the end. And now I am going upstairs. So the bar on the first floor has like the blue color. So I decided the bar on the second floor was going to be purple. So I kind of do this wraparound idea where it kind of goes into that little cubby hole section. This is above where the bathrooms are on the first floor. So you're going to see me kind of going up and down because I'm just kind of copying some of the items that I have on the lower level and just putting them upstairs. So putting in the walls, for some reason I didn't have any walls on the second floor, on the second story. So adding those in and kind of putting the DJ booth off in the corner. So, and then the first floor has a small dance floor. The second floor has the very large one. So that's kind of why I say the first floor is more of like the bar, and the second floor would be more of like your nightclub or dance club. A lot of times when I'm building, I find like these random things. So I find these signs, and I was like, oh, I love these signs. I would definitely want to use them. So I just kind of put them out in the like front entrance there, so I wouldn't forget about them. Because sometimes I'll find something and be like, oh, I totally want to use this, and then I just forget about it, or I end up like searching the catalog and I can never find it again. So when I find something I like, I usually just place it off to the side so I remember to use it. Um, Putting in some more like seating area, so copying some of the couches and the table and chairs that I have on the lower level and putting them upstairs. I was going to have another karaoke machine on the upper level, but because I had that big one downstairs, I decided to not do that upstairs. So um, this is where I wanted to have some bathrooms on the second floor. So originally I was going to do the same thing that I did on the lower level and have like two stalls for the both your male and female Sims. But I felt like the roof on the second floor would just be kind of awkward if I did that. So I ended up just putting one like bathroom for both the male and then one bathroom for the females on the second floor. So adding some more lights in on the second floor, and I really wish I would have took the grid off because I hate looking at videos when they have the grid on, but it makes it a lot easier when you build. So um, finding in some nice wood flooring. It's like diagonal flooring. I think that came with City Living, but I can't be sure about that. So yeah, I really like that floor. It's nice and dark. Looks like a nice bar floor. So putting in some wall colorings. You notice I typically do like all the flooring and the wall coverings after I have the whole place kind of decorated. And that's just because I feel like I get a better idea of like the what kind of theme I'm going for and what kind of colors I need to use. So I like how I accented the pillars that kind of separate the seating areas. That's like the brick color, and then that back wall is kind of like that purple. It's supposed to be purple, but it looks kind of pink sometimes in the lighting. Um, but I think that looks really nice. It kind of brightens it up a little bit, and I think it looks really nice. So adjusting some of the wallpaper in the bathrooms. Because they're so small, I typically just go with white in the bathrooms. I don't know. I just think that looks a little bit better. Now I'm kind of going upstairs and putting in some of the. Oh, no, I'm not going upstairs. I am putting in a door in the front. And then I played around quite a bit with the windows. So most bars or nightclubs I would think would be darker and don't really have a lot of windows, but this is supposed to be a modern type bar. So I wanted to have definitely some windows. So I really did struggle quite a bit Um, but I think in the end, what I end up using looks quite nice. So the floor or the wall height is the middle wall height. So I end up using the floor to ceiling windows that would be for like um, the smaller wall, but because it's a bigger wall, it doesn't look like it's floor to ceiling, if that makes any sense. So, um, I was gonna have, like I said, I think I said anyway, the upper area have like a balcony to it, but I decided that this was pretty much big enough as it was. I didn't need to have any more seating areas on the outside, so I do take that door away in the end. And then I really wish that I had some better lighting. It's really kind of difficult for me to see what I'm doing right now, but putting in some more table and some chairs on the upstairs, and I do kind of copy over the same like idea that I used on the lower level, and just having like these walls kind of sectioning off where like they have like the seating areas. So I just think that looks nice. It kind of gives your Sims some privacy, as well as like it's a nice decorative feature, since the majority of the build is kind of just like one rectangular with only a little bit of deviation on the sides. So now I finally have some pretty lights so I can see what's going on. And then copying over some of the wallpaper, so using that brick again as like those pillars, and then putting in that purpley pink color in the background, so just to kind of give it a little bit of pop of color and brighten it up just a little bit, because again we have mostly dark walls and dark flooring throughout. So again, copying some of the TV and the speakers, and then I think I end up moving that DJ booth because it almost seems like it's too far in the corner. I end up kind of twisting it a little bit and putting it further out so you can see it. Um, Putting in some more colors beyond the back side of the bar and some windows. And then I think I start to do the bathrooms on the upstairs. So yeah, just kind of copying some of the items over, and I do end up making the bathrooms on the second floor a little bit smaller, because initially I had them the same size as the lower ones, but because there's only one toilet, I end up making it a little bit smaller. So um, yeah, there's plenty of bathrooms, I think, for your Sims as they, well, I guess if they're drinking a lot, they might need to go to the bathroom more, but I still think there's plenty of bathrooms for your Sims. So you're gonna have to excuse me. I have a little bit of a cold. I'm a little bit nasally, and I kind of have a little bit of a cough. So I do spare you the sound of me coughing, and just kind of muted my microphone a couple times. So hopefully you don't mind. Sorry about that. Putting it, so this is, you can see I adjusted the DJ booth and put in a microphone there, and then, putting in some plants. So I like to size up or scale up a lot of plants, both like potted plants as well as the shrubs and the bushes on the outside. I just think they look really cool when you do that. Um, so I do scale some of them up, but some of them are just the regular size that I normally would, or that they come in, I guess. And then again, going around to some of the tables and putting in some either flowers or some candles or something. So it just kind of gives it a nice vibe for your Sims. So I think now I am deciding that I want to have a basement. So I really could have made this a lot bigger and really gone to town on the basement, but I decided just to kind of make the basement, basically, I mean, your Sims could go down here, but it's supposed to just mostly be for like your employees. So there's a door that leads to a little like break room area. So you're gonna see that in just a couple minutes. I'm just kind of getting the flooring and the walls down. So so this first room is just gonna be a like table and chairs and a little counter and stuff. And again, there's a bathroom off to the side. So just a one toilet, one sink off of the break room for your Sims, and then using the fridge that kind of I think looks like a vending machine ish. And then putting in a microwave and a sink for your Sims while they're on break. They can do their dishes and eat some food. And then this is actually one of my favorite rooms or favorite parts of this whole build is like this manager's office. So, I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. Like your sim can go down here and like conduct an interview or like pay the bills for the club or just kind of do whatever managers do. I don't know. I found the dartboard and I was like, well, have to have a dartboard. So I went back upstairs and found a spot for that. I really wish there was a pool table in The Sims 4. I think that would have been really cool. I definitely would have put it in here. I know they have a foosball table, but I don't really know any bars that have foosball tables. So putting in a bookcase and then moving the filing cabinets over closer to the manager's desk because I feel like you would want to have your files and everything close to like where you're working at. And then a couple more like decorative items putting in the corner. I do put a little bit of clutter in the manager's office, and some of it sadly you don't see on camera, but you do see some screenshots in the end. So this is one of the rugs I think I mentioned that kind of inspired the color scheme for the build. So it's like blue and purple. I think it looks really nice. So dressing up the entrance area. I really like how I just kind of sectioned that off. I'm not really sure why I did that, but I'm glad that I did that because I think it just gives it a little bit more. I don't know. I don't really know what it gives it, but I just think it looks really nice. So I was gonna have a huge rug underneath the bar, but I thought that doesn't really make any sense. You're probably going to be spilling a lot. You probably don't really need a rug there. So I end up putting it over in the bathroom area. And then I think I'm looking for a table. Yeah, just a table to go over by the stairs there. And then paintings. I'm on my way to painting. So I love how like one or like a couple of different objects will just kind of really coordinate. So that flower painting with like the blue and the purple I think just looks really well. So I end up using some of the same paintings over again because again I think like if you were going to own a bar like this you probably would buy things in bulk so you wouldn't like be a big deal to have some of the same things throughout. So um oh boy, the roof. I always struggle with roofs. So you'll hear me if you've watched any of my builds, I always talk about the roof. And so I struggled quite a bit with this as usual and sad to say the final roof that I end up using you don't actually see me building. So basically it's kind of the same concept as what you're seeing right now. I kind of have these like angled pieces. And what I was wanting to do, I had seen this build before. I don't know if it was on the gallery or maybe like a YouTube video. I don't know who did this, so I can't give them credit. But they kind of like intertwined or layered these roof pieces and kind of had them angled a little bit. So it had a really, really, really cool effect. But I decided not to go with that. The main reason being since my partner was going to be building the restaurant next door, I wanted to make something that would be easy for her to kind of mock or like do on the restaurant part side. So um, if you're having a like the same building, you would probably, I mean, I don't know if she's going to use any of the same, I'm assuming like the same kind of color scheme and stuff, but I wanted to make it a little simple for her so it wouldn't be too complex and she'd be like, how did you do your roof? Plus, I'm not that good at roofs anyway, so I didn't want to overwhelm myself. So putting in some fencing around um, this section, I guess. That was going to be the balcony, but I'm glad I ended up not making this a balcony. The only reason I think I really wanted it to be a balcony in the first place was because I didn't want to have to put a roof over it. But I ended up just using like the flat roof, and I think that looks fine because it's a modern build. You can have a flat roof in a modern build. So going back over now, and basically you're gonna kind of see me doing the same thing that I did before, only I think I kind of keep it this time. So the other thing that I struggled with quite a bit was the exterior coloring. So I typically try to use the same colors that I had from the inside to the outside. So going around and using that brick color and then using a lot of the black that I have. And um, I I sent a couple screenshots to my friend and it's like, what do I need to do to make this look better? I couldn't really put my finger on what I didn't like about it. And I finally figured out something in the end, and sorry to say you don't see me actually doing it, but you do get to see the final product. So I wanted to try to get some of the blue or the purple or just kind of lighten it up a little bit. So you see me kind of playing around quite a bit. If I would have had the footage in here with me doing the roof and the exterior colors, this video would have been another like 20 minutes longer. So that's the reason why you see me kind of cut some of that out, because it's just changing my mind so many times, and it's just kind of that's a little too much for I think most people to watch. I don't even want to watch or like voice over a 45-minute video. So yeah, that's why I cut it out. Um, so what I think ends up making the colors on the outside better is I use these columns, or yeah, not columns, those pillars. So there you can see like the colors are all done, the roof is all done, and I've basically moved this whole bar to another lot. So like I said earlier, the lot that it was originally on was Magnolia Promenade, and so her build was going to be next to it. So basically I was all done with the interior and most of the exterior, and I sent it over to her for her to do the restaurant. And now I'm just kind of finishing the exterior with the landscaping so I can upload it as an individual like bar to the gallery. So yeah, I use the pillars, not pillars, columns, I guess, to kind of separate some of the colors. And I used the same brick as I had on the interior, but I lightened it up and used a lighter color. And then I put an awning over the door, which I thought looked really nice. And then yeah, just kind of working on some of the plants and some lights and stuff on the outside. I definitely made sure I had a trash can, and one of the things I love about the colors that I use is the blue, the purple, and that white color you see are they come from Spa Day. So at night it's like that glow paint, which I think looks really cool. And that, sorry, I had another cough. So putting in some plants in the backside, and again, I tried to scale them up a little bit, but it kind of glitched in between the bathroom. So I just use a couple of smaller, like the regular size plants, and just use many of them to kind of give it a nice layering effect. And then I was trying to delete some of the terrain paint, and I was like, oh, that comes with a lot. I can't delete that. So just putting in some shrubs on the sides, and then that birch tree is probably my favorite tree ever in The Sims. I use it in practically every build that I have ever made. Finding a couple more plants and putting it on the side, kind of towards the entrance there. And then I use a couple of rocks, and I don't know, I keep the landscaping um, kind of simple, but I think it looks nice. Again, scaling up some of the rocks and putting in a few like grass or like weed areas, and then doing some terrain painting, which is typically one of the last things that I do. So I'm gonna go around all of the flower beds and make it look nice and worn in, and then I kind of adjust uh, the terrain painting tool, I guess, and kind of go around the whole exterior and just kind of make it look more worn in where all the wallpapers and stuff go, or the walls. I use both the blue and the purple flowers there to kind of tie in the theme with the whole bar and the club. So again, just going around like all the pathway areas and the garbage can and stuff like that, and putting in some dirt and just making it look a little bit more realistic. And then we're getting pretty close to the end of the video. We're gonna see some screenshots. So yeah, here we go. We're looking at the front of the bar or the club. So I use both the blue and the purple color on the that kind of ties into the interior, and then a little bit of white on the back side. So now I think we're going to be heading into the main. This is like from the door. So kind of have the area sectioned off. You can see the bar there, and that's my sim Kevin. He is dancing the night away on the dance floor, and now he's sitting at the bar. There's a couple of other sims there grabbing a drink. And then I think we show him upstairs. There's a DJ and a couple other sims dancing. And then we get another view looking at the bar area. So I think that looks really, really pretty. This is the break room downstairs. So kind of basic, but again, that's just mostly there for looks. You don't really need to go down there. And then the manager's office. I love that view. That's my favorite screenshot, I think. And then you can see the floor plans. So looking down at the first level, and then we jump up to the second level, and then we're going to go down to the basement, I think. So, yep, get the floor plans of the basement. And then I think I have a couple more screenshots at night. So we're going to go to the back of the house, and then we're going to go back around to the front of the house at night. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please like, comment, and share. And thanks for watching. I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.